I want to back up a couple slides here. There we go. Every day you're getting better. I tried to put in some morning affirmations this morning to build up our subconscious and convince ourselves we really are valuable. And notice the graphic on this. It shows people lifting up that path for us that's going to raise us higher and higher towards success. And those people underneath that green arrow are the team members and the leaders here at Team Elevate. And the one that has been taking new responsibilities there is Christion Sadler. He's our instructor today, and let me tell you, this guy works behind the scenes and gets not sufficient thanks for what he does for us. And just know that he is a person that walks the walk. He doesn't just talk the talk. He knows the way to success. His walk is leading him upwards, and he's leading us upwards. He is leading to successful entrepreneurship, successful real estate deals, successful team building. We're honored to have him as one of the leaders of our team and grateful for what he does for us. Christion, good morning. We're glad to have you with us, sir.
Good morning, Ron. Thanks for being here.
You betcha.
I just want to, continue to commend you, Ron, on taking on this morning call and just constantly striving to make it better and improve. And, it's really cool to see somebody that is not only able to take on a task and, take on responsibility for the team, but somebody who takes it as serious as you and really, goes next level with it. That's what I love to see here is when somebody really takes ownership of their service and helps the team immensely. And I know, I get excited about getting on here and just seeing what Ron's come up with as far as the slides and the music and, all the positive affirmations that come about, through what he's put together. So Ron, thank you for that. And folks, let's jump into our day. And just to let you folks know who are working in the Spanish market, I was able to get all of the translated descriptions just last night, late last night. We got those over. So I got to give it up to Ryan Black for everything that he's done in, putting those together and translating them into Spanish and making sure that we have those. And so watch for the calendar to be populated here throughout the day with all of those Spanish events that will be coming up, including today's event. So if you've got people that are planning that you're working with and they're coming to the tour that's going to be today or tonight, for the Spanish folks out in Layton, I will get that updated on the calendar shortly. So interesting day today. I started off with my first miracle morning. So just to kind of give you guys some background, if you understand the leadership within Renatus, basically you have Bob Snyder, and then he has what is called the PAC, which is the President's Advisory Council. And so there's 10 members of the PAC that really help direct this team and, steer the course. And they receive some pretty phenomenal benefits for doing so. In fact, there's 5% of every dollar that comes into Renatus is set aside, and it's split up through a bonus pool within those 10 members based on their personal production and their team production and, a myriad of different factors. So really that encourages them to be there and show up for all of us. And that's why you see Scott Rowe doing things that he's doing and traveling the country and, doing the impact webinars. That's why you see Michael Huggins, very much doing the same types of things and, creating the Audible accounts for us and, all of those things that go on, and the list goes on with each of these PAC members. And then we have what's called the PIT team, and that is President's Advisory Council in Training. So the PAC in Training, and I have the honor and the privilege to be a part of that team, moving toward the goal of becoming a PAC member. And being on the PIT team is a really cool experience, and right now it's a very elite team. I mean, we have 3 pit team members, for the, as of right now. Some people have moved on and moved up, and it's a cool experience because basically it's myself, Nate Lambert, who you guys probably know and love. He's right here in Salt Lake City, Utah, and doing amazing things. And Mike Adams. And Mike Adams, you'll recognize his voice if you have ever heard him train. He has that big booming voice. He's out of Minnesota, and he's just doing some amazing things. He's really taking it to the next level, and I wouldn't be surprised if you guys see him promoted to a PAC member very shortly. And anyways, we get on the call every single week, plus on the monthly basis, we're able to get on with Bob Snyder and the rest of the PAC members, or at least those who choose to join, and get some additional training and mentoring through Bob and with Bob, and ask any questions that we have about our business and about our teams and about going to the next level within our lives. And then on a weekly basis, of course, you have to be a high achiever just to even be considered for the pit team. It's great because we have the ability to mastermind with each other and help each other take our businesses to the next level. And one of the most recent things that came about within that was Nate Lambert and Mike Adams were talking about their experience with the Miracle Morning. Now, the Miracle Morning is a book. It's written by Hal Elrod, and they talked about how that has been life-changing for them. And they also talked about how easy it has been to fall out of that routine. So they've both gotten into those routines, they've fallen out of those routines, and that kind of shows you that no matter what level of leadership, you're not going to be perfect, and that's okay. But what we challenged each other to do was to start taking on Miracle Mornings. And today was the first Miracle Morning that I have taken on. And it was an experience that, I've really enjoyed. And part of this, and I'm going to go into what this all consists of, but part of it was reading. And so I was going to wait for reading until after this call, but I decided I had, 10, 15 minutes before the call started. So I just grabbed a book off my bookshelf. And the book was Napoleon Hill's Golden Rules. And when I opened it up to a random page, the first page I got to was habits. So that is the theme of today, because the Miracle Morning is all about creating new habits. And this book just went into a little bit deeper of the importance of habits and the creation of habits and some clarity around habits. And I really wanted to bring that message to you folks today, because you are simply a product of your habits, right? You're a product of your habits. What habits are you choosing? And if you would like to start adopting new habits, there's some really cool programs out there to help you do that. I'm going to do one thing, folks. Let me just check the audio here and see if I've got somebody off of mute. I'm just getting some pretty heavy feedback, but it looks like everything's okay, and it might just be coming from my computer. All right, so habits. Let me switch over here and share my screen and show you right now. Desktop. We're going to pull this up. This is what the Miracle Morning consists of. It consists of these 6 things, what they call life savers. And if you go through the book Miracle Morning, you'll learn about Hal and some of his experience. And Hal actually, part of his personal growth started when he got in a major car accident. And in that car accident, he had some really traumatic injuries, including a brain injury, which affected his life in, some profound ways, let's say. And he recovered from that and became really an amazing success story. And then he lost everything financially. And he talks about how that was actually a harder experience for him when he lost everything financially. And he was so down and depressed mentally, that was a more difficult challenge for him than even healing from this major car accident. And the way that he won his life, the way that he came back was creating a morning routine for himself, creating new habits, and those new habits have produced some amazing success for him. And what he has put together in this program, this Miracle Morning program, is what he calls Life Savers. So the S stands for silence. So starting up, the first thing is he talks about waking up an hour early each morning, an hour earlier than you would normally wake up, an hour earlier than you need to wake up in order to get into your day. Because oftentimes, many of us do the math in our head and decide, okay, I need to wake up at exactly this time in order for me to be able to get ready and get to where I need to be and get to my first appointment. And we're really, we start into the day almost in a rush, sometimes very much in a rush, right? And apologize, I've got somebody off mute here, so let me get in and fix that. All right, perfect. So what he says is wake up an hour earlier than you would need to, than you would regularly choose to, and give yourself the opportunity to do these 6 things. The first thing is silence. So he talks about meditation and prayer, and give yourself the opportunity to really just be at peace and to connect with your source. A is for affirmations, which is encouraging you in different ways and reminding yourself who you are, reminding yourself what you're going to do, and help you put yourself in the right state of mind. V is for visualization. So imagining yourself in the life that you want to live. Imagine the achievements that you desire to achieve, and going through a visualization process, utilizing things like vision boards, right? Some people make vision movies where they actually put together a slideshow and they put music behind it and they record that so they can go through. And there's lots of different ways that you can do this, but spending some time in visualization. The E stands for exercise. So making sure that you exercise in the mornings. It doesn't have to be powerlifting or any of those types of things. It doesn't have to be super strenuous, but maybe just getting out for a walk or a run, or there's all kinds of different ways that you can engage your body first thing in the day. And what this does for you is it actually raises your vibration, raises your energy. Oftentimes in our mind, we convince ourselves that more sleep is going to give us more energy. And the fact of the matter is, science has never proven that, right? More sleep does not necessarily translate to more energy. But what has been proven is more exercise translates to more energy, meaning the more energy that you produce yourself, the more energy that is naturally produced within your body. So exercise. R is for reading, and filling your brain with positive thoughts, learning new things, and engaging your mind. Your mind is like a piece of equipment to where if you do not use it, it will rust, right? There will be things that don't work as well as they did. But if you are constantly engaging your mind, guess what? It stays fresh and clean and lubricated, as they say, and you're able to act quicker and be more engaged with your mind. So reading, and then scribing. Scribing is writing in your journal, putting together some gratitude statements, going through and writing out what you did with your day yesterday or what you're going to be doing with your day today. And folks, make sure that you're not coming off of mute, please. All right, so scribing. So again, silence, affirmations, visualization, exercise, reading, and scribing. And so the way that Napoleon Hill talked about habits in his book is he said, if you imagine yourself, if you've ever been out in the wilderness, you've ever been out in the forest, then you've probably noticed that there's often paths that are cut through the forest that are worn. And even if you're somewhere where there's not a lot of people, there's these trails that go through the forest, and you'll notice that they follow the path of the least resistance. The most clear path is the path that the animals follow, right? And they wear down a path. If you look at water and you look at the path that it follows, it's going to follow the path of least resistance. It's going to follow the path that it has followed most often. And this is you. This is your life. You're following the path that you have worn into your mind, that you have worn into your life by continually following a path. And guess what? Nature doesn't necessarily have as much choice, right? You, however, do. You get to choose your path. And if you start following a new path and you do it long enough, pretty soon that will be the new path that you naturally follow. Even if in the beginning it is very, very hard, pretty soon it's going to feel unnatural for you not to follow that path. So I want to first of all make sure you understand that right now, if you're coming from a place of not being an entrepreneur and a business owner and successful in your Renatus business, and you're suddenly starting this new business, or you've been walking this path of this new business, but it feels like it's very difficult to do the daily actions and to adopt the new habits, that's simply because you're overcoming the deep worn path of your previous habits. The habits that you've been living for 10 or 20 or 30 or 40 or some of you 50 and even 60 years. And now you're trying to change your path. If you sometimes end up off course and on the old path, don't beat yourself up about it. Just simply become aware of it, make a decision to change, take action in that new direction, and start wearing down the new path. Because folks, you are simply a product of your habits. And right now, most likely, you're overcoming a whole lot of habits that have gotten you not to where you want to be, but to where you are. Where you are right now has nothing to do with who you are. It has everything to do with who you were and who you have been. Where you will be tomorrow and where you will be a year from now and 5 years from now and 10 years from now will be determined by who you choose to be today. So who will you choose to be? What habits will you adopt? If you're open to it, look at the people who are achieving the things that you want to achieve in this business, right? And what are they doing? What are their habits? I would challenge anybody on this list that wants to move to the next tier of leadership, whether that's lit team, whether that's pit team, or even pack. Consider going through the Audible and grabbing this book, Miracle Morning, and consider taking on the challenge for yourself. Maybe you do like the book says and you just do the next 30 days. Or maybe you decide to do it long enough that it just becomes a natural habit. But what if you chose to take on a morning routine? Now, folks, I'm not speaking from necessarily somebody who is a morning person. In fact, I'm very resistant to routines whatsoever. If you understand Woody Woodward's trainings, I have a very strong freedom and independence eye, and it resists just about any type of routine. However, I also understand that if I want to go to the next level in my life, I should probably follow people who are at that next level. And I know both Mike Adams and Nate Lambert are achieving extraordinary success in an area of my life that I want to improve upon. And so if they are using this and they say it's been life-changing for them and for their business, there's no reason why I should not take on this challenge of doing this with them. So that's what I'm doing. And I want to give you guys the opportunity to participate. If you're open to it, go get the Miracle Morning, or you can even jump on YouTube. There's a couple of really good, 6 to 10 minute brief overviews of the book that could help you just quickly understand what you need to do. It is in Audible, so feel free to go into your Audible account or the Team Audible account and download it that way. And/or, like I said, you can go onto YouTube. You can even just Google and grab a a picture like this that'll remind you of those 6 things that you're going to do each morning. Wake up an hour earlier than you normally would. And it's okay if it's difficult at first. It's okay if you don't do it perfectly. Because again, all you're doing is you're just simply choosing to follow a new path and wear down that path into a new habit. Thanks for joining us, folks. Go out there and make it an amazing Tuesday. By the way, I took on Tuesday this week to give Mitch Nelson the opportunity to come speak to you guys on Thursday. It's going to be an amazing training with some information that you're definitely going to want to pay attention to. So on Thursday, what would normally be the day that we would be spending our morning together, you're going to spend with Mitch Nelson. Be there. Be there every morning. Make it a part of your new routine. And thanks for joining us, folks. Talk to you soon.